mechanic, the doink.
True. True.
Undebatable. If you say something else, you're just wrong.
I agree with you. I fully agree with you. It's one of the best mechanics that there's around, but there's a ton of mechanics around. A ton. And we'll probably see some of them, hopefully, today. If not, next week is always there, right?
Yeah, next week is always there. And someone's saying that we're muted. Or one of... It's fixed. Okay, we're no longer muted, apparently. Good.
My joke, my entire special joke got missed. Probably for the better, to be honest, but that doesn't matter.
I mean, yeah, probably for better, yeah. But
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I believe you can hear my voice now, my beautiful voice, and Macht, of course, is also here. So enjoy us. We are your casters for today, and I mean, what a day it is, as we have a match on our hands, AW3 against Wrexham AFC. And this is a bit of a weird one, isn't it, Macht?
yeah, mainly because we have one very much known quantity in the bubble scene. We've got AW3, been around for ages, teaming for ages, like positively ages now as well, with the same coach, Seep, Inferno, and of course Fireman Jonas. And on the other side, we have the new kids on the block, so to speak. We have Wrexham, who, out of nowhere, in last week's RSCS qualifier, made day 2 through upper bracket. Granted, they lost both their series on day 2 and got eliminated in lower bracket round 3, but still, that roster of rally, talent, and logic we haven't seen before, and it is intriguing to say the least.
Yeah, it's a name like Logic I've heard before, but only on the backside. And Talon, the name rings a bell inside of me, but not a large bell, because it's not someone I really am known with, and especially not really. It reminds me a bit of, Max, you of course will notice as well, of the old TT Wilhaben roster, making it almost into the day 3 qualifier. It reminds me of that. A group of players that are very unknown, doing something that people did not expect, all of a sudden showing up. And I mean, of that roster, only one right now is still at that level that he can consistently get there, but that's something besides the point. I hope this roster fares a bit better. It is something exciting to look forward to.
It definitely is. Like, this roster is going to be exciting. I think it's nice to see the new kids on the block. And that is purely me predicting. I think we're going to see less of a clean rotation style and more of a chasey, go monkey, hit ball mechanics style of play, because that's what we usually see when players come into those higher sections of the bubble. They want to come in there with showing that they have hot mechanics, while they still don't fully understand the mechanical and the rotational side of the game. And I think that's going to be a nice tactical overview that it's going to happen between AW3 and Wrexham AFC.
Yeah, because I mean, we both notice ourselves, AW3 is probably one of those teams that really have their style solidified. They know what to do, they know how to do it, they know how to bring things out of each other, how to get each other to go play well. Only in RLCS, they sometimes struggle still, they know that themselves as well, sadly enough. But it's a team that is solidified. They know how to play, they know how to rotate, everything is always solidified there. So, I'm curious, like you said, it can be just a bit of a different matchup in those eyes. It could turn out to be an exciting match. It also could turn out in just one where we see a 3-0 sweep, or 2-0 sweep, I should say, and we're done with it.
I mean, yeah, and let's not forget, we are in the best of 3 scenario, and best of 3 always screams upset. Best of 3 is probably the most volatile scenario. For a weekly, it's the correct way to go, because, you know, you want to be done in a timely manner. But still, it could be that, you know, AW3 after the first game maybe lose the first game, then don't know or can't really get those corrections going in time, and that'd be just, yeah, they're done for, because they're gonna lose 2 games. And in the best of 5, you still have the opportunity to reverse sweep, and, you know, get back in the best of 7. 2 game losses, who cares? But in best of 3, you're just done. You're just over and out.
Well, speaking of those game 1s, it could be fun to take a bit of a sight at that, hear about it. Both these teams lost their game 1 last game. AW3 lost game 1 to Dunno Chief, and Wrexham lost game 1 to Sinners. A bit of an exciting insight in that regard. Both bouncing back, and Wrexham beating Sinners, to me, of course Sinners is a team I'm also quite familiar with, does signify to me that this is a team that either can out-weird or out-mechanic a team. Because for people who don't know Sinners that well, It's a very demo-heavy, a very awkward playstyle to play against for enemies. They're non-stop in your face, non-stop there, non-stop trying to create awkward situations. If you're able to deal with that and beat that, you could be able to do some good things. And I mean, again, let's remind ourselves, did well in RLCS.
Exactly, and I feel like Sinners is one of those teams that is renowned for the playstyle throughout the bubble, but also if you can beat them consistently. Same goes for AW3. If you can beat those kind of teams consistently, then you're moving up in the in the bubble scene, especially in EU. Like those are the teams that are sort of gatekeeping. I'd say if you beat Sinners, you
AW3
can.
especially.
Yeah, if you beat Sinners, you're gonna probably make day 2 every time around, every time an open qualifier rolls around. And if you can beat AW3, I think you have a shot of making a few upper bracket features in RSCS. So I think that's mainly it. Yeah, the gatekeeping that's just happening at different stages. Obviously, Wrexham losing 2-3 only in a game 5 against Zoom Zoom, who eventually did make main event and then got swept by the old farts of UQ Speed and Tigray, who made just one series away from main event. So they're definitely no pushovers, and I'm just really excited to see them here.
Definitely. If you're wondering what are these two guys baffling on about, we're waiting for the teams to get a bit ready, get in here. I think AW3 is taking a small bit of a break in between matches just to reset. Always important, always a good thing to be able to do. Just take your time, reset, and get going again. On the other end, I think Wrexham is probably here to just be like, let's go, quick, let's get into it, let's go further. Because, I mean, that's normally how these teams bit work. They try to steamroll things, try to get going, try to keep on putting pressure, try to keep on that momentum. That is also the fun part about these RLCS qualifiers, to bring them in this type of stuff, is that they allow somewhat for teams to start steamrolling. It's just the problem that if you do that in day 1, you're going into day 2, and then all of a sudden you are cold and play probably against one of the better teams.
Yeah, exactly. And it also lends itself to a comparison because this is a weekly, right? And you're gonna play a bracket back to back. Like this is going to be the 4th series for Wrexham and the 4th series for AW3 as well. By now both teams are warm, but by now maybe just a tiny bit exhaustion might become a factor, where you're non-stop onslaught of playing Rocket League straight for 2 hours, calming, not having a lot of breaks, and so on and so forth. So taking the time that you have in between matches, absolutely crucial to, don't burn yourself out too quickly and still being able to be focused, because let's not forget, there's still a grand final to be played after this one.
Yeah, that's of course important to take into fact. I always say as a coach, a big important part is always to breathe in, breathe out. And if you want to get very, very relaxed, you breathe in, you hold it for a couple of minutes, and then you breathe out. If you're
a couple of minutes?
Yeah, we don't do weak stuff here. We keep going. We keep going for a while.
couple of minutes, he says. He wants to absolutely suffocate his players. Don't get spooks as your coach if you want to live.
I'm already in the spot. I'm fine. Now come on, Max, with me. Breathe in.
No, it just reminds me of last Friday for EG. That's all.
We don't not breathe there at all. No breathing required there.
Well, a lot of breathing required, otherwise we might have died. But yeah, we keep waffling on because right now I want to see some Rocket League, lads. Come on, have the players hopefully do have the info so that they can join the lobby. I just want to see them play. I finally want to get a picture of Wrexham, what they can bring to the table, because that's genuinely for me personally the most exciting thing. Every other team in the semi-final, I kind of know the players, I know what they're going to bring. Wrexham, I don't, so I want to see.
Definitely agree. I kind of want to see, like you said, I want to see how this new team performs. How did they get to the uppers in the day 2 qualifiers of RCS? How did they make it there? What were their playstyles? Because that's something that's going to be interesting. I want to look at this. This team could set themselves up, for me at least, that I can be a bit of a fan of them already. Because if you can do well, you can impress me here with a good playstyle, you have me sold already.
Yeah, exactly. But you have to deliver for that, right? That's the crucial issue at the same point. And against AW3, delivering can be very, very, very difficult, because let's not forget, AW3 currently in the top spot in P1 in the Telia League, in the Norwegian National League. And that's no mean feat to come in as P1. And I think we have 2 teams in the lobby.
Quick prediction, I hear. Quick prediction, Mark, before we get these people right away underway. What would you say? I'm gonna go. I was gonna say AW3 3-1, but
yeah,
go for it.
I'm with you. I'm entirely with you. I'm entirely with you on that. I think we're gonna see a 3-game series, but I don't think that Wrexham's gonna be able to surpass AW3 just yet. I think the experience might be a little bit too much lacking in that regard. But we're gonna wait and see. Game 1 is already getting underway with AW3 firmly in the opposition's half.
Definitely they have been keeping the pressure going a bit, but it's a miss right there, Riley. Is that a bit of the awkwardness, or is it just a bit of shudders coming in from game 1? Started opening, have to get going again as Logic. Does get the ball into the blue half. It's Steve hitting it high, trying to set himself up. And in general, I do want to give compliments to the man himself. We all know Steve as the old sub that used to be subbing in for RLS, RLCS stuff. He has been, especially this year, impressing me with the progress he has been making.
Yeah, Seep has been very, very exceptionally good. Like, for a long time you said he's been the sub, he's been like thereabouts, but he's been stagnated a bit. But I feel like this season he's sort of stepped it up a notch. He sort of became much more of a rounded player. Got a lot of calm nerves, you know, took his time when he needed to, and that's really something that helped his game immensely. And I mean, we've seen it continuously, not only just in Telia League, but also in the Nitro League where he's been playing. It's been so good this year. And I hope that trend can continue as AW3 currently in the orange half, but really long clear out. That's going to be returned right away. Logic taking ball control. And I, honestly, after 2 minutes, I like what I see out of Wrexham thus far.
They're taking it quite patiently, actually. They're looking for those opportunities, but they aren't getting too greedy just yet. But this could be an opportunity for AW3. It's a good setup, but Inferno can't get to it. And Rayleigh blocking it off, getting it back into the middle. But of course, there's one man there. He names himself HG, mostly known as Fireman Jonas. Why do these players always have to change names, Smart? Do they hate us?
Because they're bubble players. It feels, the name starts to feel less clean or something, or some placebo effect, yada yada yada. It's placebo at the end of the day, so who cares if the players actually change the name? We know who they are, and that's good enough. I feel like as Inferno, it's not getting past Talon. He's baiting out Sieve as well, just beating Sieve, just living rent-free in his head actually. Talon again cutting in, making it awkward for Seep to get a free pinch. Logic now trying to get Wrexham sorted in that blue half, but Seep getting out, getting a beautiful flick actually, but the crossbar denies. Together with Logic, they keep it out.
Logic, and sadly enough, the next one does go in, but that is a beautiful save, almost working to their favor as well, but sadly there comes the miss. And I mean, Jonas is saying, thank you very much. You won't have to do that a second time because I will take that goal. It's the first goal for AW3. It's the first goal in the series, but we hope for many more.
Definitely hope for a lot more goals. And Raleigh is already trying to accomplish exactly that, but putting the defense under some amount of pressure. But Inferno and Fireman Jonas so just clear that out so routinely and so casually. You might as well not exist at that point if you're an attacker from Wrexham. Right now they have a bit of space ready. That's a good pass over to Talon. I like what I see, and Talon just actually smashes it through. And the 1-2 passing play, not the first time that we see it from Wrexham, but this time it works.
They've been looking for that a couple of times now. This is the one where it's actually accurate, though. That is the big problem point right now for Wrexham, is that they get the pass, but they aren't accurate enough. They don't give enough space and room to really get something going, but they have to be careful with this quick attack from the kickoff. Inferno, sadly enough, not quick enough. It's Jonas hitting it high, looking for the follow-up himself. Gets the flip reset, but sadly enough for him, no clip for Jonas. And it means that Riley once again gets the ball away, and it's again in Jonas' hands. It seems that out of AW3, Jonas is reading the gameplay very well.
And I feel like that's probably the most logical thing about it, given that Jonas himself has had a bit more of a mechanical playstyle. So knowing what these younger players want to do and achieve with their mechanics, I think it's pretty much on him to just beat them in the air. As he does right there, reads the play perfectly, and Jonas getting the second for AW3.
Let's not ignore the pass there from Steve, getting the pinch beautifully into the middle, but Jonas treading the needle, as we say, finding the one little spot where he can put it past the two defenders and getting that lead back into the hands of AW3. Now, once again, is there going to be a response for Wrexham? It is a solo play from Logic, gets it high over one. Is there a follow-up? No, Jonas blocks it off, but with a little amount of boost, he has to be careful. Inferno, right place, right time, getting the save, but it's still in front of the net. That should have probably gone in. We have to go again.
Yeah, you can't really miss these chances at this level. As Inferno's looking for the corner, he can't find it. See, rushing in. Jonas, second battler from AW3 in quick succession, but Jonas able to recover just in the nick of time. Now Inferno coming through as well. 20 seconds now for AW3. Game management now of the utmost important, but game management almost costing them. They have to keep the ball in their possession in the first place, but have to keep it high in the secondly, but they can't really with the equalizer.
An equalizer, deservingly so, but it's in an awkward position once again, really. It almost gets handed to him, but he still has to find the spot. Almost gets saved as well right there. It's awkward for AW3, especially defensively. They don't look comfortable at all, and you can see why Wrexham has been a team that has been, well, you could say, upsetting people, as they have a chance to do so right now. Good pass straight down the bump. Maybe a bit too late, and maybe the pass a bit too far away as the seconds keep on ticking down. It's a double commit coming out from AW3. You have to be careful now with Talon. Hitting it high, Inferno not getting to it. It's onto the backboard for Jonas. He is the quickest one to it, and the ball drops on down.
Ball dropping on down, and with that we have our first overtime of this series, and I think you said deservedly so that Wrexham was able to get the equalizer. In the end, maybe, you know, not with the most offensive pressure in this game, but certainly made their chances, the few chances that they did get, they made them count. AW3 though, coming forward already. Seep back into the danger zone. Talon doesn't have a lot of boost to work with, so Seep has free reins over that ball. That's a beautiful pass down to Inferno, beautifully thought, but not quite as well executed.
Ball goes high once again, Elo hits it away. It forces the double commit still out of them. That's something you have to get rid of. You can't be double committing that often. And as I say, it counts the same for AW3. Steve almost getting the redirect of his dreams, but does eventually hit the bump. But it doesn't help AW3 enough to get forward once again. Good pass to Inferno, back to Steve. It's onto the wall and not on target.
But the pressure just continues from AW3, and the key to that is that they've been getting the back boost of Wrexham. They had good control over them for a good minute now. Wrexham needing to struggle. Talon, that's important that he got that one. He has to use it now immediately against Inferno's attack. As it does exactly that. Gets it over Seep as well, but the pressure's still continuing. Wrexham really struggling to get out of their own half. Jonas, there he's there at the backboard. The pass from Seep though, not good enough. The pressure though, still possession is with AW3.
It is, but they have to be careful of these quick counterattacks. Elo hits it high, gets it over one, but Inferno, easy save for him, but not the control you want. Rix hits it back into the middle. It's Jonas who gets it away. There's no follow-up really right there. Inferno finally gets a hit towards the target, makes the beautiful control. That's the type of stuff you're always looking for these teams. Controlled touches. How well can you follow it up? How well can you demo? How well can you shoot? Well, this one, not so good.
How well can you shoot? And in that instance, not well enough. Every other stage of that attack was beautifully choreographed by Wrexham, and again an open net. Logic this time around. He will punish AW3 for the defensive mishap. But of course, it could have come a lot sooner. Jonas was just not interested in defending.
Perhaps not, but it was a bit coming. You could see Wrexham slowly get forward, slowly crawling towards it. And they did well right there. They kept going for those quick chances, and they took what they were given, because quite honestly, AW3 weren't giving a whole lot.
Yeah, you really have to work against AW3 to create your chances, to create your opportunities, because there aren't going to be a lot of natural mistakes. And we've touched upon this in our pre-talk, where we said, and that's the reason why AW3 is the gatekeeping team if you want to, you know, achieve something in the EU bubble. have to be able to work with very few chances and have to work with your opponents making very few mistakes. You have to be the one responsible for creating the chances, and Wrexham have just done exactly that.
They have done exactly that. It does seem that our lovely Aloe has finally changed back to his name called Talon. Nice to see that name switch coming back to the correct name, but all fine and dandy over here. But for Wrexham, taking game 1 is probably quite important, because now they can maybe get that momentum going. They now know a bit of a feeling of how to play against AW3. On the other hand, AW3, what can you do against this Wrexham?
I feel like AW3 just... We say they don't make many mistakes, but they probably had one mistake too many in that last series, especially losing that 2-1 lead, going into overtime in the first place. I think mainly it's just dealing with whenever Wrexham is going for, or dealing with their aggressiveness on the bumps and on the physical side of the play is what Wrexham has excelled at. The goal as well in overtime coming as a result of a bump or demo that had been happening on the goal line 20 seconds earlier. Now, really, flip reset, mechanical display, not so good, but the recovery is even better. Inferno though gets it out.
That's a good save. That's what you're looking for, but it does show you exactly. Oh, God, no. Ooh, that is painful. I mean, Jonas will take it. Let me remind you, this is the man that got a really pretty goal in game 1. This is also what he's capable of.
It doesn't matter as long as you score them, Spooks, does it? And here's the harsh reality of Rocket League being a score-oriented game. Well, if you fuck up, and you just completely... You lose it, basically.
Jonas looking for the pass into the middle as Logic finally gets the ball under control. And what has been looking good for Wrexham is that they have been unpredictable. A bit of what we expected from them. They have really gone for the things you would normally not expect. They've gone for high when you expect the ball to go low. They've gone for a flip reset when you probably expect them to just do something else. They have been unpredictable, and it's really working in their favor against AW3. And you see it right here. Quick shot past the defense. Probably should have been someone challenging this, but hey, the goal is the goal.
I mean, Seep was there, he just missed the ball, and then Jonas, content with shadowing on the backboard, also caught in an uneasy spot, needing his teammates Inferno to come in and help him out. Fortunately, Inferno not able to make contact, and with that, yeah, I don't think any of the Wrexham players are necessarily going to be so sad about it. That the aggressiveness is coming through again and is paying off yet again for Wrexham.
Is it time again to say, ooh, that's painful? Or is it just good? Because in the end, it is a goal for Wrexham. It is, again, unpredictable, because you can't tell me you predicted that.
It's the one thing that's been lacking from basically every bubble and pro team is a solid strat after kickoff. What do we actually do? What do we want to achieve? They clearly communicate, okay, I'm going to go for kickoff win, and then they're going to be a Spanish follow as well to get the demo as Talon puts in the third one. And what was that?
Do you see that setup from Logic? The goal is all fine and dandy. It's just a regular one, but the setup from Logic. Excuse me? What?
I'm not quite sure. I'm not sure what that... how did he just hell flip on the ceiling?
I think he did something like that.
Like, it looked... He was off the ceiling so damn quick. And that just really enabled Talon to put it in. Granted, he was helped by the lack of defending on side of AW3, but that's the sort of moments that you need when you're playing AW3. That's the sort of moments that your opponent just sees and we're like, if they can put out something like that continuously, then Wrexham are a force to be reckoned with.
Honestly, it is going to be consistency for me. If Wrexham can play like this for longer than just a couple of, like a month, they're going to be a team that you could look forward to. Maybe a couple of players that bubble teams are going to be like, oh, that is interesting. That's nice to see. But it is something to look at. It is something to really look at. But Jonas is also something to look at. But sadly enough, this one hits the post. The second shot does come out from C, but it's not strong enough. And this 3-1 lead will stick. You know what also stuck around? Wicked Sailors being in the finals already, waiting.
Expected results maybe against the unknown goats from the Wicked Sailors. The Spaniards get through, and right here the Norwegians, still trying their damnedest to find the Spaniards in the finals, but Wrexham is really making them work for it, and they having to surmount a 3-1 deficit. Talon probably making it 4 here. No, Jonas able to cut it out and then immediately go into offense as well. Inferno on the backboard doesn't have enough time, really already there, and now we get to see one thing that I didn't expect to see out of Wrexham, and that is in ideal positioning and game management strats. And let's see how good it's going to be if they can keep AW3 at bay.
I mean, AW3 haven't seen the offensive half for quite some time. This time the ball gets hit high, but Rix is right there anyway. It's an awkward position once again, and it feels like for Wrexham, they're looking for a fourth. They aren't like, oh no, we are 2 goals off. We're fine now. We're gonna waste time. No, they're looking for that 4th goal. They're looking to actively increase the lead, and if Logic left the ball alone, it could have been that 4th goal. But that's a bit of the downside of this aggressive, weird playstyle that they're going for. You can have those types of moments where you mess up, you do get in the way of your teammates, but in the end, you're still 2 goals up.
Yeah, a bit chasey there from Logic and a bit scary there from Logic, in all honesty. As his teammate did have an open net to shoot at to 4th and to probably put the final nail in the coffin of the series. But still, Wrexham thinking about being there, being in the way of AW3 and just showing superior aerial speed and superior confidence at this point. They're just up so early as Jonas gets it past 1, but the positioning is so good and the bang is just perfectly weighted. Seep can't get through it, and Inferno has to start a new attack all the way from his own back corner.
Gets it onto the wall. Beautiful 50 setup as well from this. Jonas is in the end a bit quicker. And Seep now looking for a pass into the middle. It's now or never for AW3, but it feels like right now for Wrexham, something that I'm quite impressed by, there's always someone back right now. They know they are in the lead. They know not to rush things right now, and they're just always having someone back, wasting the time as of now with the seconds ticking on down. AW3 an unexpected result as they get 2-0'd right here.
Unexpected. AW3 get upset by the hotshots of Wrexham AFC 2-0, and Boogs, both of us were incredibly wrong in this regard. We said, it's going to be a close one. I think AW3, in the end, like we said, experience is going to take it over the hotshots, but no. The best of 3 said 2-0 in favor of Wrexham.
I mean, in one end, we were right. Game 1 was incredibly close. Let me remind you, it went to overtime. But Game 2, I don't know what happened, really. It felt like at a certain moment, we got that incredible pass coming out. And after that, AW3 just felt lost, like they could not get back into this. They could not get themselves into the offense and do what AW3 is good at. They could not get themselves solidified into that offense.
Yeah, they didn't get solidified. They didn't find their mojo against Wrexham. I think that is mainly one thing to contend with. It could also be down to the fact that these are newer players that we're talking about. They haven't played. Probably, it might have been the first time that AW3 have ever seen Wrexham or any of the players outside of ranked. And you can't really infer anything from ranked. And I don't know how Live 6 months is at the moment, so it might be the first time. So it might also be a bit of a surprise factor, which in a best of 3, as I alluded to earlier, could be enough to actually win you a series.
A best of 3 goes by so quickly for some of these teams. A team like AW3 that's a bit more structured normally likes to have an extra game to look at things, see how things are planned, see how things to do, and how to change stuff. So for them, it's always a bit disadvantageous, thank you, Spooks, to play against these types of awkward teams that normally don't really have that structure, because you don't have time to adapt, you don't have time to change. That is what lacks here for AW3, and it is something that, in my eyes, does keep them away from making the RLCS Day 3 qualifiers. It is because they don't have that quick adaptation just yet.
Yeah, even though they've played together for a long time, maybe sometimes you played together for a bit too long a time and you lack that sort of flexibility where you just set in your ways. But maybe AW3, it doesn't have the time for flexibility. What we do have the time for a small little break right before the finals. It's going to be Wrexham AFC against the Wicked Sailors. And we'll be right back with you to bring you the action after this short break.
give him a taste of their own medicine.
Remember the shot, Justin makes the save from the corner. He expected his team to be there, but he bails him out anyways, and now a solo carry. He's doing it, oh my! Squishy's up, and he makes the save, and a bump from Illusion will open up some space, but Squishy just moves in, immediately fills in the gap. He's got to pass two, just look at this play by himself. Gets the goal in, oh my!
Fair over top of Fair. Alex takes the ball. Not a lot of power to, but gets the demo as well. Takes it away. What?
From Rogue in the last 15 seconds. They're lucky FlyQuest has not been in a good place to shoot. Wow, what a wonder! Are you kidding me? Oh my!
What I find more scary about Cloud9 is they're willing to take a bad shot on the net just to gain position on the field. Look at Gimmick up the back wall. Hello, what's happening?